Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Again, today we're gonna do our commodity technical analysis update, daily update. I'm gonna give you my financial opinions. We'll work through what I normally work through: the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities and ETFs that I follow and invest in. If you guys need any help with anything, definitely check out finding-value.com, the Platinum membership. That's there to help you become a better investor. That's where the value is. And yeah, obviously we go over a lot of picks, individual companies. There's some really good setups right now across the entire spectrum of investments as these guys are lining up for what I think is coming as a big, strong pull to the upside in a lot of these different sectors. I'll show you that through technical analysis. I'll give you my opinions on it, and we'll dive right into it. So looking at the DXY, this is where I start. It's just a relative strength indicator. We do have a slightly weaker dollar today, but the past couple of trading sessions have had just monster up days for the dollar. Generally, when DXY is higher, we have an accompanying increase in yields. So higher yields, stronger dollar, they're somewhat correlated because the DXY is a relative strength indicator, not a total strength indicator. I still see this. This is a Batman pattern in the top. You put a little guy there. That's a Batman. There he is. That's a topping pattern that generally heads lower. Doesn't mean we can't have counter trend rallies within a lower move. So that's what the DXY has in store for us. I think it's in a downward momentum move, but we're seeing some strong buying pressure this past week trading. I will say the past 5 trading sessions. TNX, which is the yields, is right on that support trend line. Are we going to break higher or are we going to stay in this and come back to the bottom of this trend? You usually get 3 humps in a trend. There's 1, there's 2, and 3. This could be debatable here. Sometimes it bounces around for a little bit. And what does this signal us? Higher yields generally signal that either you have problems in the bond market and people don't want to hold bonds, or you've got inflationary pressures where bondholders also don't want to hold bonds because of the real negative rate that's being put on bonds. It means that your inflation is greater than your interest rate. And people tend to sell bonds because you have a real negative purchasing power return on the bonds. So we'll see if that goes up or if it heads back lower. I'm not going to make a prediction here or a projection. Let's just watch and see what happens. Bond prices heading lower. This moves inversely to yields. So bond prices lower when yields are higher. This is obviously in a gigantic downtrend type fashion. And are we trying to put in a bottom here? Is this a kind of a broken downtrend there, and we have a retest and we're ready to move higher? That could be the case, but we want to see where this thing goes and how it's behaving. But right now, prices are heading lower in the short term. TYX also went higher in terms of yields. It's also putting in a little consolidation pattern where if this breaks to the upside, and this consolidation pattern looks eerily familiar to the consolidation patterns in oil stocks. But right now, we're in this consolidation pattern. It has not broken to the upside or the downside. Generally speaking, if you have a consolidation pattern, when you lead in from the bottom up, generally they break to the upside. That doesn't mean that we can't go like this and then break. They've been doing a lot of these false breakdowns on a lot of companies and a lot of patterns trying to get people faked out. And I think that has to deal with the algorithms or whatever those supercomputers that are trading, trying to get people on the wrong side. And then the TYX TNX ratio is heading lower today, which means the curve is inverting. Whenever this curve inverts, a lot of the times precious metals does not like that. Today we have a split. We've got a weaker dollar, DXY, and a little bit stronger yields. So precious metals, I bet you, are going to be pretty much flat. That's what I would guess, looking at this data here. CRB index, which is highly tied to oil and energies, it is higher today. There it is. Looking fantastic. That's kind of like a retest move. And hopefully we can get some traction to the upside if you're a commodities investor. CRB to S&P 500, slightly higher today, almost 1% higher. But again, we're in this downtrend channel, and I do think that this is going to end sometime soon. Usually you look to the left, we do have some support in this general vicinity. That's probably where we're going to find some support. And then we'll, I think, base out sideways and work our way higher eventually over time. Gold, slightly higher today. I would not be a bull on this. Why? Because we've got large selling pressure and very weak buying pressure today. This is an inverted bloody nose where I think it could potentially head lower in the short term, offering hopefully better buying opportunities. Now, again, we're only working off statistical probabilities. What that is basically it favors us maybe 70% or so of how this could head lower with this type of pattern. Silver did head a little bit lower. It is consolidating or contracting. I should say it's contracting in its opening and closing prices. The buyers are starting to equal the sellers, and hopefully we can get a little bit of a bottoming pattern here. And then we've got platinum. Platinum's also doing the same thing as gold and silver. A lot of the times in a lead-in pattern, what you see is this pattern right here. It comes up, you consolidate, you come up, you come back to the bottom here, and then you roll higher after it consolidates for a little bit. So we'll see if that's true and holds true. So we're going to watch over the next few trading sessions if we head higher or if we break below that and head lower. It doesn't matter which way it breaks for me. I own a bunch of platinum, but I would not be sad if we broke down and I actually got more platinum. I've been waiting to actually buy, and I might start buying here very soon. XAU to gold ratio, this has broken to the downside of this little pattern here, a little trend line that we've got. We also have a support line running horizontal to us as well, and we're right in that general congestion area of support from this trend line here and the support from this trend line going across there. GDX, slightly higher today, right on the support level. There's that support level, and we're right on top of it. It doesn't look too bad. We're kind of just resting right on top of it. SILJ also slightly higher today, but we're not really next to any support levels. We do have a little bit support down here, maybe just below it, but yeah, doesn't look too bad. Crude oil definitely finding some buying pressure today, up very strongly, 4.3% and finishing strong. What I think this is a falling wedge that has broken out. This is the breakout, and this is your retest down here, and then we're going to work our way on up. That's how I see it. It doesn't mean that you go straight higher the way I drew it. You might come, up and around or wherever the path is. It's going to go grinding higher. Natural gas also ending up quite a bit, 5.6%. It's probably trying to put in some sort of bottom here. It's going to take some time. This is a lot of selling pressure. This does look like a bottoming is going to come soon. If you look at the pattern here, this is that head and shoulders pattern. You come down into another kind of bottoming type pattern, and then you go all the way down. And I would have guessed it would have stopped somewhere in this general vicinity of $4.50, $4, somewhere in that range. But it went and extended lower than that based off of environmental factors, weather mainly, in Europe and in America being a little bit warmer. Natural gas is a heating fuel, and we didn't use as much heating fuel, and inventories are higher than normal. XOP also getting some buying pressure, looking quite strong today, finishing strong as well. It's not a reversal candlestick, but it is positive, and we've broken through this downtrend, and we still have a higher low. If we break through here, that's in a new uptrend, up above $147 a share. OIH also looking quite strong. We have this little consolidation period there and here. It's kind of a stair-step pattern that I kind of draw where it kind of walks up the stairs. Right now, we're in a consolidation zone, and if we break that pattern here, I'll kind of draw one here. I'll go off the closing prices. 328, and I think if we close above 328, we'll see another run to the upside. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, nice, strong looking day today, finishing strong, up 3.3%. Looks real strong today. Hopefully that momentum can continue. Again, our eyes isn't on the wiggles in here. Our eyes are on the closing of over 1818. We want to close above that on a weekly and monthly close and get our butt moving higher. Looking at URNM. URNM also looking strong today, up 2.74%. We've got this ugly looking 3 candlesticks before today, looking pretty nasty there. But I do think this is just an overextended pullback. We came back to a nice support level. That's a horizontal here. That's what that bounce is today. And hopefully we can keep moving on higher. URNM, if you look at a lot of the companies, there's a lot of pretty good setups out there in the uranium space right now. I know that they're highly speculative, but there are a lot. And this pattern here, we're starting to break above it. If we can get some momentum here and really start to take off, we could see a big move out of uranium. And we're right on the precipice of that move, perhaps. I'm not going to say it's 100% in the bank. No one says that. But by looking at this, we've got a breakout. We've got a retest. And this is where I generally like to look for individual companies. Looking at TAN. TAN down a little bit today, down 0.3%, kind of an outlier in relationship to all the other commodity sectors as it is down. But I still think that we could see a big move out of TAN in this ETF eventually. And the overall markets, I think, will go up too. COPX also up 2.5%. This is, in my opinion, the beginnings of an uptrend. So what this is a double bottom on a long term. That's what these this is a double booty bottom, or just a booty bottom, not a double booty. It's a booty bottom. So this is your booty here. That's the booty. So if you're sitting down and looking down at the person, that is their booty. They've got a pretty big one here. And what happens with these patterns is you get that double bottom, it breaks on out, you get a little bit of consolidation here, then you start an uptrend, a nice long uptrend after this. You can see the green army. You can see the big green candlesticks and the 2 small bloody noses on a monthly candlestick basis. That is a continuation pattern to the upside. Looks fantastic. Lithium. Also, you got the bottoming pattern. You break out of this bottoming pattern. You usually get a big move, then you get a return move. The return move doesn't have to come all the way back. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it goes past it. Sometimes it goes above it. In lithium's case, it could be going above it, and we're getting some good buying pressure today where we could head higher in lithium. Rare earth metals also looking fantastic. We had the 3-day pullback, just like the rest of the group, and now we're starting to consolidate and gather our wits, and hopefully we can break to the upside here. That is not an estimate or a prediction. I'm saying I'm hoping we can, and we're going to have to see what the market action brings us. There is one thing you might want to look out for. Is we do have a bullish engulfing here, which is bullish. We have these 3 strong candlesticks. We want to see strong green army candlesticks. If it's really small candlesticks where they're just kind of small little guys, we could roll over and come back down somewhere in here before heading higher. Kind of an ABC correction. So that is a possibility. I don't know what it's going to do. I don't have the genie in a bottle, but that is something we can look for, is look for an ABC correction, or if we just rip it. Those are kind of our options that we're looking for. Now, the S&P 500, this is ripping it. This is a bullish engulfing today. There's another bullish candlestick there. This looks ready to go higher. It looks very good to go higher. That's kind of the big picture view. There it is, looking at it. I say we're going higher. Grinding higher, not straight higher, just grinding higher. NASDAQ also is looking quite good. We've broken out. We've got a nice kind of low here, a higher low, and then we have a higher high, which I would say this is ready to go higher. And we're already in an uptrend. Most people just don't know it yet. EEM also looking good, up 0.4%. I still think with this broken downtrend, this is also an inverted head and shoulders bottoming pattern, and we'll eventually work our way on higher. XHB, the home builders. Home builders sticking it in today, putting in a bullish piercing pattern, which is a reversal candlestick to move on higher. This is also a booty bottom pattern. Moo. Moo is bouncing off its support level. That's why there's a little wick and a bullish engulfing where the opening and closing price engulfs the ones before it, and I think we are going higher. Copper. Copper is also going a little bit higher today. This has some momentum behind it. We'll see which way this decides to go. We've had a monster run here from a bottom of about $3 to above $4, over a 33% gain in copper. And then kind of backing out, we've had a massive kind of move here, a move here. Then we've got a consolidation, the little hump, and then we take on off. So it looks good. Everything looks all right for a long-term hold for a move higher. Lumber getting a little bit of selling pressure today. The first thing you do on these falling wedges, you kind of break to the upside, then you get a return move, and then we go on higher. And that's exactly what it's doing. Iron ore slightly lower. And again, I don't know why this one's not updating, so I'm just going to skip it. Nickel also heading slightly lower today. Could this be kind of an ABC correction for a retest? Very well could be. And we'll see what happens there. Aluminum slightly lower, but it's right on support. It's on the neckline, and I do think we'll see. I think this will hold, and I think we're going to rip it. But aluminum out in the future has some pretty good-sized deficits. We've got low inventory. I like aluminum a lot. I'm a big aluminum bull. And then the Baltic Dry Index slightly lower today. I do think this is a false breakout. We're going to eventually work our way higher with the other minerals and minerals being copper and all these other ones. When they all start going higher, this will go higher with it. But this is a falling wedge. Generally, these patterns are pretty stable, and a lot of the times they try to do false breakouts to the downside, and then they rip it to the upside. We've got Newcastle coal. I know coal and natural gas are somewhat related. They both generate electricity and some other things. So we've had a big pullback here, and we're rocketing higher today, up about almost 7%. So hopefully we can get a little bit of a bottoming pattern going. And then Ethereum also is rolling on higher. We'll go to the candles here. Looks fantastic for a continued move higher. And Bitcoin also looks good to move higher with bullish engulfing candlesticks in both of them. So that's what I've got for today, guys. That's looking pretty strong. Oil's looking quite beastly. Natural gas is trying to put in some sort of bottom, I think. Again, that's got a little bit more time, I think, to base out, so to speak. But overall, the markets look really strong. S&P 500, NASDAQ. The only thing that looks kind of weak at the moment would be, copper's looking a teeny bit weak in the short term. And I also think that precious metals, I'd have to see more buying pressure for me to be convinced that we're going to move on up. So there could be some more downside still left. Fingers crossed, hopefully that's the case. I'd love to buy more platinum if the price comes on back. But again, guys, give me a thumbs up for the content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out the website. We have a Sunday, 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, platinum members question and answer session. I'll have to update the website to reflect that. And we'll see you guys there for your platinum member. Bring your questions, bring your stocks that you want me to take a look at. And we've got some pretty decent picks, I think, at least for the website that you guys can peruse and see if those work out for you. I just posted a few individual companies, the financials, the fundamentals, the technicals, and all that stuff. When they all align, that's the time. It's when it's go time for me to invest. All right, guys, we'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.